Hello, my name is Valeria Lopez, and the topic is transgender individuals and gender identity. Transgender can be defined as of, relating to, or being a person whose gender identity differs from the sex the person had or was identified as having at birth. Gender identity can be defined as a person's internal sense of being male, female, some combination of both male and female, or neither male nor female. A pretty well-known example of a transgender is Caitlyn Jenner, who was formerly known as Bruce Jenner. Caitlyn underwent a series of social and medical transformations, which will be clearly defined later on in the video. Gender identity can actually be thought of as how an individual personally experiences their own gender. An example of this would be someone who is gender fluid is often someone who does not have a fixed gender. A good example of a gender fluid individual would be Steven Tyler, lead singer of Aerosmith, who feels that he is more half and half on the gender identification scale. While on the other hand, actress Tilda Swinton feels like her gender fluidity shifts back and forth between a girl and a boy. A pretty commonly asked question is, how does an individual know that they are trans? Well, it's not very clearly defined, and I don't think it will be. People have different reasons as to why. Some of the theories are genetic influences, prenatal hormone levels. It can also be early life experiences, adolescent experiences, or adulthood experiences. The reasonings pretty much go all over the place, and there's no set criteria for why someone chose to become a trans. Earlier in the video, I talked about something called transitioning. There are two different kinds of transitionings. There is social transitioning and medical transitioning. Social transitioning could just be the way you come out to society. It can be coming out to your friends and family, changing your pronouns, going by a different name, or dressing up to match your identity. Medical transitioning is the more commonly known transitioning form. It involves hormonal therapy or other physical forms of alterations. Hormonal therapy will include testosterone and estrogen, and it will have an effect on your voice, hair growth, and the distribution of body fat, or just overall physical appearance. Now, the medical transitioning from female to male can include the removal of the reproductive organs, which are the ovaries and the uterus, a phalloplasty, which is a construction of penis using skins from other body parts, or a metoidioplasty, which actually is a surgery that enlarges the clitoris and makes it behave as a penis. On the other hand, the medical transitioning from male to female can include breast augmentation, which is implants, an archaectomy, which is the removal of the testicles, laser hair removal, tracheal shave, which is making the Adam's apple smaller, facial feminization, which can include cheekbone fillings and all kinds of other things, penile inversion vaginoplasty, which is a creation of the vagina by inverting the penis. There's a couple of common misconceptions when it comes to the gender community, one of them being that people think that every transgender undergoes sexual reconstruction. This is simply not true. Although there is a large number of individuals that do want to undergo a full genital reconstruction, 14% of women and 72% of male don't want that. Another misconception about the transgender community was that being a trans was considered a mental disorder. Again, this is simply not true. Mental disorders are defined as conditions that affect your thinking, feeling, mood, and behavior that are long-lasting and affect your ability to function each day. Thankfully, the World Health Organization said that leaving it as a mental disorder was causing a stigma. They now have a better understanding of the transgender community, and this is why in 2020, transgender people will no longer be classified as having a mental disorder. Thank you so much for listening to my talk. I hope I was able to teach you something new that you didn't already know, or expand your knowledge a little bit on something you did.